Hey y'all. So, you know what it is, and you know what time it is. Because if you are here with Sugar, it must be 7:30 on a Wednesday night, and you must be here to talk women's boxing with your girl, Natalie Sugar Brown. So, let me introduce myself to those who are new and reintroduce myself to those who are true. I am Natalie Sugar Brown. Natalie Sugar Brown. I am a female boxer or a woman's boxer. Okay. I have, uh, you guys, this day has been crazy. Okay. But I am a female fighter who has competed on the elite level for many years. I'm an old lady now. And so this show, this platform here, the Natalie Sugar Show, okay, is the platform that I give you guys the authentic perspective, authentic experience of a woman in women's boxing. Not just boxing, women's boxing, okay? Because women's boxing is a totally different jungle than the boxing that you may see, the male boxing uh, terrain that you would see and you're more familiar with. So, although there are some things that work the same, there are many things that uh, work differently for women boxing. Okay, so we talking tonight, and tonight's topic is journey women. Now, I want to start this one out because there have been many topics that Sugar has gone over uh, in the show. Okay, and I've explained to the best I can all of these different details of boxing and women's boxing that translates to uh, the industry and how we operate. Okay, so there is now the topic that has been has reemerged in women's boxing uh, regarding the difference between an unwitting mismatch, right? An opponent that's unwittingly signed up for something that they could not deal with and they weren't prepared for, and journey women who are fighters who are in the game and they're not in the game to win. They're in the game to lose, right? So I know you guys are thinking, why would you do this? Why would someone sign up to lose? Well, at a certain point, uh, or in any industry where there's a winner and a loser, someone's got to lose. And what we don't understand, or what the average Joe and Jane hasn't come to terms with, is the winner or the loser is just as important as the winner. Yes. The loser is just as important as the winner. Why? Because the loser is why the winner is the winner. Somebody got to lose. And in boxing, they are called journeymen and journeywomen, meaning that they've taken on this journey not to become champion, but they've taken on the journey to be the challenger of some of the greatest or the greats. Now, an opponent is not an opponent, right? It's not, an opponent is not a relative term, meaning um, because they're an opponent, it doesn't mean that they are low quality. It doesn't mean that they're losers. It doesn't, the connotation of opposition uh, doesn't mean much. You have to go below the surface and figure out what kind of opponent is this? Is this an opponent that's a contender? A contender is someone who is uh, skilled, is a quality of champion quality of the caliber that may propose a problem to the champion and may well very well be the new champion. Okay, so that's what a contender is. And then from being a contender, then you have how can I say this? So then you have a journey woman. And a journey woman is someone who has been around, has had many fights, and they are skilled in the art of making the winner look good. Okay, they're skilled in the art of being the 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 mouse that the cat catches, right? And the thing is, ultimately, that mouse is gonna lose, or that that she's gonna escape, but her escape is, I got paid. Okay, because what happens is when you're a journey woman, sometimes you get more money than the champion got for the fight. Yeah, it works like that, right? um if there are managers out there that all they have are journey men and journey women, because everyone wants to be a winner, and there's money there's something to gain in that. If everyone wants to be the winner, then who's the valuable component? The loser, right? So that loser can charge their price, meaning that, we call them 4 and 40 fighters. 4 and 40, meaning that they've won, okay? They've showed the capacity that, yeah, I can win. If you're sleeping or if you don't do what you're supposed to do, I can win. But the 40 lets you know that, but my game is, I'm a loser in this game. Okay, my job is to lose. And so when you switch the numbers, right? Say 10-0 means they're a winner. Okay, 2-8 now means that's a journey person. They've had 10 fights. They've won twice, but they've lost 8 times. That's letting the matchmaker know, and the person who's fighting them know that, okay, this person may present a challenge depending on what their quality and skill set is. They will propose a challenge. This is ultimately a test that I need to pass, right? So if you're not at the caliber of this journey woman, she will beat you. That's what a journeyman and a journey woman is. Okay, it's to test the it's a test in the fighter's development, not journey, but development as well. Okay, now the contender is not a test. The contender is a challenge, right? It's not to see if you pass because or fail, right? Because a journey person is this. A journey person's record is riddled with screwed up decisions. Decisions that you can see that, oh man, they won that fight. If you were there, you can see they won that fight. But because now they're fighting the winner, okay? That winner's promoter ain't going to let them lose to the journey person, right? They're not going to let them lose, because then if you lose, I brought this person in to lose against you and you lost, my money's down the drain now, right? So that's where you get these horrible decisions, where promoters Sometimes they pay for opponents, sometimes they uh, trap contenders into becoming opponents. So they'll take a contender to fight their prospect, their fighter, their female woman boxer who they promote, and they bring this contender in, and the contender could very well or will very well whoop his fighter's ass, okay? And because now that the intent was for the promoter's fighter to win, the judges who are paid by the who? Promoter. The judges are going to know that, okay, unless it's a knockout, and I've still seen someone get stopped, right? Someone do the shake and been out on their feet, and the fight waved off and stopped, and they still won the fight because no one pays attention to women's boxing. So when you have these preposterous, um, um, you know, dealings inside the ring, not many people watch us enough to make us stink about it. Um, and so promoters move on and they make their money, and that fighter moves on, and then the contender is the one stuck with the shit end of the stick, right? Because um, messed up decisions really do still affect your record, right? It surges through the boxing world that, oh no, that was a robbery, right? So then now you're in this realm where you have these screwed up decisions. People know that you're a winning contender, but your record reflects that you may be you may be a loser. So what happens is you stop getting as many calls, right? Because people don't know what to think of you or what to take of you. Meaning they don't know whether you are a journeywoman who has made the agreement to lose, or if you're an actual contender that they've turned. Hi, Michael. I was wondering when somebody was going to join the party. So Mike comes in. Hey, Mike. Mike says, hi, sugar. Okay. So you like my shirt? So, yeah. So what will happen is, then the terrain turns. You love the shirt. Thank you, Mike. So then the terrain turns into um, what my grandmother used to say: when dirty clothes get mixed in with clean clothes, you can't tell the difference, right? So you got contenders mixed in with journey women. And then what ultimately happens is people don't fight. People don't fight the proper opposition, or I mean, there are good matchmakers out there, so they'll do their diligence in studying uh, a, a prospect's record. But when you have now a screwed up, once you start getting robberies on your record, and then your record starts looking ugly, your pay grade goes down unless you turn into a journeywoman, right? That you have no choice after a while, because you're looking at it where, if I try to be a contender, if I go out here trying to win, I'm not going to get calls. So I might as well take my chances being a loser so I can make money in this game. Yeah. Sadly, that's the decision that they force a lot of great prospects to make. And so when they do that, they take the money out the game, right? And then when they do that, you'll find that a lot of these champions fight the same woman all the time. And they're not just, they say, oh, you can't find people, you can't fight women. Women boxers are scarce. No, we're not. There are hundreds of thousands of us out here. What they're not telling you is finding um, finding a loser that's shitty enough to make my fighter look good is scarce, right? Because just because the broad is a journey woman doesn't mean she can't fight. She's a journey woman because she had to make a choice. Now, lovely assistant, can you share what an image that we have here? Do we have an image that we can share? Okay, so I chose this journey woman to start with. Her name is Terry Blair. She fought back in the day, early 2000s. Y'all can look that up, if my lovely assistants are here and can help me do that. So she fought back in the early 2000s, and you can see in her picture, she is a great specimen. Look at her body, her arms, her chest. Like she looks like she's in good condition. But that's how the story ended for Terry Blair. When she first started, Terry Blair was under conditioned. Conditioned meaning, you're not you you're not in the weight class you should be fighting in. So you're in a higher weight class because you have more poundage on you. So you're not conditioned or prepared for the opposition that you'll be facing in that division that you're just not supposed to be in, right? So Terry Blair, oh, okay, so my guys come in. Um, Terry Blair's career spanning from 2002 to 2010. Okay, so she had a good run, a good 8-year run. In the first, um, in the first few of her fights, she was building herself to be a contender. And then what's happened is when she started to step up to fight champion opposition, okay, uh, when she started stepping up to fight champion opposition, now it becomes promoter versus promoter. And Terry Blair didn't have a strong promoter in the game, right? So if you look at Terry Blair's record, I believe Terry Blair fought some actual names out here. I think she even, who did she fight? She fought Chevelle Hallback, who is still around right now, vying for super welterweight contention. She fought Holly Holm, the legend. I'm sorry. She fought Holly Holm, the legend. Okay, I don't know how you going to be a legend when you never left your backyard. How you going to be a legend when you never fought out of your home state? Legends are legends because they have extended themselves and they've made their names out of out of home court. But Holly Holm is considered a legend. Okay? I mean, Sugar's fought out of her. That's all Sugar did. Fight out of her backyard. She went to somebody's house to fight. Now the thing about it is, because I'm gonna deviate from it. You show the quality or the fabric of who you are as a fighter when you take that chance and you leave the safety of your home ground. It shows that you are real, okay, and you are bad. Now, when you fight in your hometown or all the time, it's not, oh, because I can do that, and oh, because I'm helping this world. No, no. You're setting, you're like, basically you're setting a trap, right? You're setting a trap. Nothing would have stopped Holly Holm from traveling. I would have loved to see Holly Holm go fight Cecilia Breckus. But boxing learner, hey you. Hi boxing learner. Thanks for coming to the party. So yes, the party getting started. The party getting started. Okay? So, yeah, I'm happy to see you here. And we're talking about journey women. Okay, boxing learner? So, yeah, you may or may not know about women's boxing. A journey woman is just like a journey man, meaning they have more losses than wins on their record. And so they've made that silent agreement that they will be losers in the game. They're just as important as the champions. Why? Because a loser makes the winner. Okay, and so at a certain point in time, and I would say now, the losers are making more money than the winners because you got to pay me for my pride. Yeah, right? Because as a loser, that's what you're putting on the line, your pride, especially in in women's boxing, right? Because that's all we got is our pride. We really don't have much more than that. That's why we fight the way we fight. That's why we make the sacrifices we make. Okay, we're just wired that way. So yes, I was hoping Holly Holm and Cecile Breckus would fight. But I mean, when you got two broads that won't leave their porch, and they talking about I'm the champion, I'm great and posing there on their porch, but they won't meet, right? And fight each other for the sake of what the industry and the sport is about, the best fighting the best, then are they legends? Right? We throw that term around so loosely, it has lost its value in women's boxing. Everyone's a legend. Everything's super. Everything's mega. Damn. Right? And still ain't nobody making no money. So how is everything legendary, super, and mega, and ain't no money being made? Right? We can't talk about it. Well, even the losers got to make you got to have high end losers too, right? Cotto in the men's game, he became a high end loser. They made him a champion in his own right, but he was a champion loser, right? Everybody had fought him, and then after a while, he became the pinata. Okay, so I mean, we've got to get there in women that we've got to get to that place in boxing too. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Now, Michael chimed in and said that Terry Blair fought Holly Holm 2 times and she won 2 times. Holly Holm won 2 times, right? So it was so good that we had to do it again. Not that it was close and they had to fight a second time for a rematch. No, Holly Holm fought her twice because she knew that Terry Blair their promoter made Terry Blair into that loser, and she would beat Terry Blair twice. Okay, so that's it. I mean, lovely assistant, do you have another image that we can elaborate on? Let me tell you something about this baddie right here, Oxendia Castillo. Now, you see her record is 19 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws. Okay, now, let me tell you about those 3 draws. Those 3 draws were supposed to be wins for her. But what happened is the the decision, if they had made those 3 draws into actual losses, the decision would have been so blatant that it would invalidate, a lot of people would get in trouble, and it would invalidate the actual match that they spent the thousands of dollars, hundreds and thousands of dollars on, right? So they turned it into a draw. But most likely, those draws should have been wins. So 19 wins, 15 by KO, and there might have been some paddingment in it. But if you've seen this broad fight, you'll know she she ain't nothing to do. She ain't no joke. So she fought at super welterweight, middleweight, and super welterweight, middleweight, and super middleweight. Okay, Yeah, she in that hot weight class that's going on right now. And what I would have loved to see, she's Oxendia Castillo is out of, I think, either Dominican Republic or Colombia, I think. Lovely assistance. If you guys can look that up, I greatly appreciate it. So, yeah, she fought out of the those one of the Latin come back in Dominican Republic. So she fought out of there, and she is one hell of a fighter. Good build. She's built. Uh, I think she's tall like Carissa, so about 5'8", 5'9". But she has a stronger build than Clarissa Shields. So, and I bring up Clarissa Shields because Clarissa Shields is the cream of the crop in that weight division. But Oxendia Castillo now, the reason why she gets the spotlight for this is she didn't come from amateurs. She may have had some amateur background in the Dominican Republic, but the way, if you watch her fight, you could see that she was trained by some dogs. Yeah, she fights, she makes it a dog fight, and she's good at it. Okay. Which is what we need in the game. I've said this before, where it's turned into pageantry, this amateur background where it's very good, but it's lost its pizzazz because amateur boxing has become very political now as well. So it's all based on who's with the in crew and where you're fighting at and all of that stuff. Where amateur boxing before was a pretty fair playing field at one time. I would say it was more fair than now. Michael Orr comes in. Her draws were against Rosie De Leon Quarry, Cindy Serrano, and Ann Mathis. Okay, so I know for sure. I saw the fight with Anne Sophie Mathis, and Oxendia won that fight. Oxendia won that fight. Um, but they made it a draw. And let me tell you something about Anne Sophie Mathis. That one ain't no joke, neither. Anne Sophie Mathis, I would have loved if she was around now, because y'all talk about Savannah Marshall. No, 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 no. Anne Sophie Mathis had that boom in her slingshot. Okay, she didn't have an amateur background, right? So she was a dog in there too, and she was tough. Okay, and she could fight. Now, we need that quality back in this game, because right now it's too many pageantry, it's too much pageantry, and it's too many Disney princesses in this game, right? So, back to Oxendia Castillo, the fight between her and Sophie Mathis was actually a good fight, and that fight sealed her worth for me, because she did what it do. Okay, she turned around, and they fought. Cecilia Breckus also fought Oxendia Castillo, where in that fight, y'all need to look at it. It was 2 against 1. Guess who was the two? Yeah. So it was Cecilia Breckus and her referee against Oxendia Castillo. And it bees like that in the ring, right? Don't ever assume that the referee is fair. Always assume that the referee is on the opponent's side, unless you're paying the referee. Unless you know that you're the promoter's fighter, you're the promoter's girl, um, and y'all cutting that ref a check. Assume, unless you're that, assume that ref is working for your your opponent. Okay, so in that Oxendia Castillo versus Cecilia Breckus and her referee, Oxendia put up a really good performance, but because of the shenanigans of the ref, I think Oxendia didn't have the experience to understand what was happening to her, and it really took her morale down, and she lost her will in the fight. And so I believe they said it was a stoppage, but it was on some bullshit. Cecilia Breckus can't stop no fighter named Oxendia Castillo. That's for damn sure. Um, Host comes in. That fight was for the World Boxing Federation Super Welterweight Championship. Yes, so Oxendia Castillo fought for the Super Welterweight Championship, and she fought from Super Welter right up into to middleweight. Um, which is what I love about this fighter, because she was willing to go down there, and when she did go down there, she fought a killer down there in Anne Sophie Mathis. Cindy Serrano was a great contender in the game too. Not familiar with Rosie de Leon. I'm really not familiar with that fighter, but Cindy Serrano and Ann Mathis, she extended herself, right? She lost that weight to take the chance and go down and take that challenge, which adds even more fabric, quality to the fabric of fighter that Oxia Castillo is. Um, Now, and so Michael Orr comes in and says she's listed as heavyweight on BoxRec. Yes. So now she's heavyweight. And I believe she is ranked number one uh, as a heavyweight. But you see, what happens is they stopped calling Oxandia, right? Because she was still trying to win. And when you stop getting calls and you're trying to make a living as a fighter, right? You can't make a living. So either you quit or you move to a weight class where, you people might take chances with you. So now she's in the heavyweight. People might take chances fighting Oxandia Castillo as a heavyweight. Maybe, right? And so who is a famous and popular heavyweight that we know of right now? Who? I'm gonna ask y'all to anybody chime in. Who is a who is the female heavyweight that you guys just know? She just comes to mind when y'all think about the women's boxing heavyweight champion. Um, Michael Orr said her last fight she fought was at 231 pounds. Whoo, child. Sound like Oxania probably messed around and had a baby too while she was out. Who knows? Them babies will put that weight on you. Look, trust me. Sugar's a mom. I have a son, and let me tell you, I went from 140 pounds to 300 pounds. Yeah, after I had my son, and I had to work my ass off to get back down to my fight weight, right? Because I wasn't taking no chances at no 300 pounds. I didn't want to fight at middleweight, super middleweight. I didn't want to fight anywhere else but where I was, because, I'm still a woman, right? And I didn't know myself in those at those weight classes, and I really didn't like being there. I didn't really like how my body felt, and what I was at those higher weights. So I came down back down to the sugar that everybody knew, and the sugar that y'all see. Um, Michael Orr comes in. She's ranked number one in the Dominican Republic. She sure is. She should be ranked there. I mean, they have a good amount of fighters out of the Dominican Republic, women's fighters too. But I want internationally. Um, Michael Orr says she's ranked at number 23. So I still don't think she's active, because the type of fighter Oxandia Castillo is she will mess around and still be dangerous at heavyweight. She can fight. I want y'all to look at her. She can fight. Um, Hannah Gabriels, right? So yeah, Hannah Gabriels, the fighter who dropped Clarissa Shields now, is at, I think Hannah Gabriel's is actually ranked at light heavyweight, right? Light heavyweight is 178 or something like that. And yeah, Hannah Gabriel, she took some time off. She was rallying at, because her name came across my path when I was fighting, when I was, and Sugar always fought between 140, that my weights that I prefer to fight, between 140 and up to 147 pounds. Anything higher, y'all know, Sugar, they put nickels at, I was weighing in with rolls and nickels and quarters in my pockets. Okay. Um, so Hannah Gabriel's is up there in that weight, and I would love to see Oxendia Castillo fight Hannah Gabriel. That would be a really good match between the two, because I'll give it to Hannah. Hannah takes it seriously. She conditions herself. She can fight a little bit. She's the only fighter who dropped Clarissa Shields on her ass. So you got to give, and it was with an uppercut too. It was with I think it was a right uppercut. She dropped the guat with, and so if you could sneak a uppercut in on the guat, who has, to me, the highest IQ in women's boxing right now, that's saying something. Um, Michael Orr comes in. Lanny Daniels is the heavyweight champ. Okay. Lanny Daniels is somebody who I'm not very familiar with. Look like she bought the damn belt, right? Because there are belts there sitting. And like I always say, if you and your promoter got the money and you could pay for the belt, it's yours. So not many women are sitting at heavyweight. There's not many contenders at heavyweight. The hot division is between lightweight and super middleweight, right? So those belts are there for the buying. They're for sale. So Lanny Daniels, I have not even, I don't know of her. I have not seen her in the ring in action. The heavyweight that I know, that we know, in women's boxing is who? Christina Hammer out of Germany, right? That's the heavyweight that we know. So unless Lanny Daniels is going to fight, and I think Christina Hammer is still ranked as the heavyweight champion, right? In the more prestigious sanctioning rankings. So Lanny Daniels, if you out there and you watching, or somebody know her, please tell her to fight Christina Hammer, right? That's what we need to be fighting. That's what we need to be going after. If not, get you on one of these big cards, right? Get you on one of these cards so we can see you in action. Start putting your fights online so we can see if you got that heavyweight thunder that we looking for. Okay, Angie Paola Roca is a heavyweight. She's 10-3, and Michael Orr says that she comes to mind. So 10 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws. I think that name I've heard of. Okay, she's ranked number 2 out of 23. Um, and Hannah Gabriels is fighting Angie Paola Roca on the 13th of this uh, um, of this month? Okay, Mike, thanks for the information. I'll be looking out for that fight. Um, Michael Orr said that these two fought already in October 13th of 2017. So they doing it again? Why? You see what I'm saying? This is not no ring around the rosy type of deal. There are other heavyweights out here, right? But they only want to take a chance with fighting each other because they know that there might be a shark out there that'll bite their heads off, right? Carlette Ewell comes to mind. Carlette Ewell she's a crone, like she's a mountain lion, okay, in this game. She is over 50 years old, and she has a belt. So you guys look up, lovely assistants, please look up Carlette Ewell, and give me her numbers. Um, Michael Orr comes in and say Oksana fought Gabrielle in 2017. Okay, so it looks like Hannah Gabrielle, because, like I said, her name came across when I was fighting, because um, the question came up that the idea came up that we should fight, and I was willing to fight Oksana. I mean, not Oksana. I'll fight anybody, but I was willing to fight Hannah Gabriel's. But what had happened was my Sugar got reach. Okay, Sugar got reach. So my porch her porch was Dominican Republic, and at the time I had an extended porch onto Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and they wanted me to go to the Dominican Republic to fight Hannah Gabriel's, and I was like, no, I'm not leave. We can meet. I'm a U.S. fighter. I'll go as far as the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I'll fight her there. She didn't take her and her people didn't follow up on the offer, right? She had got mollywopped by this girl. Her last name, her first name is, y'all look at Hannah Gabriel's in her earlier fights. She fought a girl named Melissa. I forgot her last name. That fighter right there is also, she was a hell of a fighter, but they turned her into a journeywoman. She fought Hannah Gabriel's twice and beat her twice in Dominican Republic. But when you go to a woman boxer's country, her backyard, to fight her, we call it, you got to kill the queen, right? They got to take her out of that ring on a stretcher, right? If not, you ain't gonna win. So you better be sure when you leaving, either that it's gonna be neutral ground, and you really have to know if it's neutral ground is if you have a promoter or a backer that also has a hand in picking the judges and putting on the fight. If it's one-sided where your opposition is the one you flying over to their backyard and they're the one putting on the party, it ain't going to work out for you. Sugar learned it the hard way when she went to Japan and fought Fujin Raika. I boxed her ears off. I probably should have dropped her and really did her dirty. But Sugar was green, and what happened was it was the first women's boxing match in the history of Japan. And here I am taking my amateur mentality into this, meaning I'm gonna box her, and we're gonna box and show the world how skillful women boxers are. Where I should have smashed her face like the fighter who came behind me did and won the fight. Okay, right. So my lovely assistant comes in saying that Hannah Gabriel's fought a fighter named Melizinda Perez 2 times. I know my stuff. Now, Melizinda Perez is also a hell of a fighter. They turned back to back, yes. So Gabrielle's fought Melizinda Perez back to back because Perez beat her ass in Dominican Republic. Yeah. She had what you call it, Hannah Gabrielle doing the backslide. She had her doing the backslide in the fights both times. Yeah. She made Gabrielle look bad in front of her people's dam. So they brought her back a second time, and same thing. Perez took it to her, but what happened? They took the fight from Perez both times. Okay, so and then Perez, the word went around that Perez was a tough cookie, and people stopped calling her, and she had to disappear into the sunset. right? She had to find something else to do because it wasn't going to be boxing. She was at a weight class that wasn't really both fights late round TKO. Okay. That's a story to be disputed. Okay? It should be online. Y'all watch that fight. Okay? It ain't go like that. When it's a KO, okay. TKO, that means the referee made a decision in that fight, or the referee had something to do with stopping the fight. And like I said, if you're fighting in, if you're the promoter's fighter, then the referee works for you. Okay. And if the referee sees that you getting dragged, the referee can very well orchestrate something that's happening in the ring where um, they help you to win the fight, or they help you to a TKO. Okay, so that's what happens. Um, where was I? Yes. So I digress. Oxendia Castillo is rallying at heavyweight. There are a bunch of women right now rallying at heavyweight. Lanny Daniels, Angie Paola, Roca, um, Hannah Gabriels, all those women. But we need to see them fight each other, right? You not, ladies, my big girls, you not cute enough yet to be fighting um, people that are not, are not the same caliber as you. So ladies need to be fighting each other, and y'all need to be bringing that action so uh, people can understand that there is quality competition and opposition in that heavyweight division. Um, okay, so the host, host of my show, host of the Sugar Show, adds the link to the first fight between uh, Hannah Gabriels and Melissendia Perez. Y'all watch it. It's not a clean fight. It's not a cute fight, but it's a fight nonetheless. And if you watch the fight, and if y'all have any, if y'all think contrary of what Sugar might said, bring it on back to the show and let's talk about it. Okay? Because I love the other person's opinion. I respect the other person's opinion just as much as I have an opinion. Okay? Perspective um, is the spice of life. Okay? Lovely assistant, is there another image that uh, we can elaborate on? So now we have Jane Couch. Now, look at this record now. Jane Couch. Oh, so Michael Orr goes back to Perez versus Gabrielle. The first fight was a 10th round TKO. Okay, so women, we only fight for 10 rounds, and the fight was stopped in the 10th round. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Y'all watch the fight. Links in the box there. Okay. So Jane Couch, 28 wins, 11 losses, no draws, was the first journey women that I knew, that I really learned from. Um, Jane Couch is a legend. She is a legend. Okay, so this one right here, okay, she belong in the books. Um, it was illegal in the UK for women to box. And Jane Couch fought tooth and nail and put her life, her reputation, and everything on the line so that women in Europe, in the UK, can legally make a living being fighters. So if you ask most of the female UK fighters about Jane Couch, y'all will probably, they would probably not know who she is, right? And that's the thing about it that I really think is stank. A stankin' broad in this game is a broad who doesn't know the game, doesn't know enough about the game to know who made it so that she could be what she is and make the money that she's making, whether it be a penny or millions of dollars in the game. Katie Taylor, who else is a you fights out? I mean, uh, Hearn, okay, Eddie Hearn, um, is a UK promoter and never shot it out, never like at any of his fights paid homage to Jane Couch. And she's the reason why he can make some damn money over there, with Katie Taylor in fighting in Europe, in England, in the UK, because it was illegal until Jane Couch fought to make it legal. Um, Jane Couch, who is a Bristol resident, became the first British woman in history to be officially licensed as a female boxer. That's huge. That's super. That's mega. Okay. Um, and her career spanned from 1994 to 2007. Okay, so that's a 10, that's what, 13 years or so? Like, yeah, that's legendary. So, and she needs to be in the Hall of Fame, International Boxing Hall of Fame, or the Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm not sure if they've inducted her in either, but she certainly deserves a spot or a chair on that platform. Um, so Jane Couch fought out of England, and she would fly her ass over to the where it was legal and fight anybody. All right, and she was known to she would some in some of the fights she'd get knocked from post to post, but in some of the fights she actually won, right? Because she was a tough broad. She was a baddie out of England, and she was always game. That's what I loved about her. Never complained. Always showed up to the party. Always showed up prepared, ready to fight. And she was the pinnacle of what a woman boxer mentality should be at the time. Um, Michael Orr comes in. Jane credits boxing with keeping her out of big time trouble after being expelled from her Blackpool school as a teenager. All right, so she was always a young lady, a woman behaving badly. We tend to always, I mean, we talk about fabric and quality, but sir, I'll put it this way: us women who fight, you always know what aisle in the in the store, right, to find us, right? We were all there's just a certain type, and it's not a negative thing or not very or not positive thing. It's just there is just some women who will go there physically, and extend themselves, and you could see that quality in her ever since she was a itty bitty girl. My mom would tell me stories about Natalie. You were always quiet and you were shy, but there was a streak in you, right? And if somebody touched that chord, oh my gosh, you'd flip the whole kindergarten. You tear the whole kindergarten to pieces. Oops. But I turned it into sugar. Okay. So some of us use our powers for good, and some of us don't use that power very wisely. Um, and so, yeah, Michael Orr, you looked up the whole story about Jane Couch, and it's quite a journey for her. Um, Michael Orr comes in and says, "So where's your shirt that says Miss Too Bad?" That's coming too. You gotta wait. I can't wear two shirts at the same time. So we do the shirt first because it's the sugar show. And then when Too Bad show up, you'll see it, right? And I always say this too. You could always do a wardrobe change. You're right. It's not too late for that neither. It's not too late for that. I think that would be fun. Wink, wink. I'm gonna wink back at you too, Michael. So, yeah. And you'll notice, like I said, there's personas, right? Me as a fighter, I have there's Natalie who's outside of the ring. Okay, not Natalie's a mother, a sister. She used to be a wife. I am no longer uh I'm no longer a married woman. Okay? So if if you want to try some sugar, that's all I got to say, you know. It's worth sugar's worth a try. um Michael Orr chimes in, you know I'm taking you up on that offer. Mike, don't you threaten me with a good time on my show. Listen, where are we? Where are we? We live. You better stop. You better stop. So now, let's get back to the Michael. Mike, we live. It's not a threat. It's a promise. You know what? I might have to keep this going. Okay, so I'm gonna take. Listen, if it's a promise, you gonna have to promise me something good. Now you gonna have to. If it's a promise, if it's a promise now, you got to make sure it's something good. um, so um, let's see. Do I have? Is there any other images? Is there any other images? So we have Dahania Santana, who is, you see, she's not a 4-40 fighter, but she has quite a bit of losses on her record, okay? 40 wins, 13 losses. She's been stopped 4 times. So I've seen this fighter fight. She's a baddie. This broad is bad. Be careful, okay? I think she fought as low as 122 pounds, 100. Then she went up. She's fought, I think, as low as 122 pounds or 32. Okay. My brain ain't on rec mode today. Y'all just wouldn't even realize what kind of day Sugar has had. Okay. It's one of them Ferris Bueller days. I'm showing my age. Okay. But yeah. Oh, Michael Orr comes in. She's been as low as 118. So I told you. Okay. This is a baddie right here. She's now rallying at 140 pounds. So from 118 pounds to 140 pounds. Okay. And she could fight. She can fight. Now, she may not be strong at all of the. I'm going to tell you where she's deadly. She's deadly between 122 pounds and 132 pounds. I would love to see your girl, Michaela Meyer, fight Dahania Santana at 130 pounds. Ah, that would be a super fight. That would be great. Yeah. Because homegirl, can she can box, she can fight. I believe she fought Amanda Serrano as well. And I think it is worth another go for I I would love for Amanda Serrano to bring her back on for a performance for them two to fight on one of Jake Paul's cards, because when they fight, that's a good show. Those two make a good show. Um, the last time Michael Orr comes in, the last time they fought was December 16th, 2020. Okay. Dahania Santana also fought Tiara Brown, which was a good war. I saw that fight. It was great. That was a good war too. Um, so yes, Diana Santana is a great journeywoman for and she is not to be she is a contender that they turned into a journeywoman. Okay, but she's so good that she stayed in the game. She even fought the dog Melissa St. Ville. Melissa St. Phil is a dog out there. She's a broad that's coming in. She's a crone now and she's ready. She's on the shelf now. I know that they're put her on the shelf so her bones can soften up a little bit, because what she did to um Jessica Camara and Olivia Garula, they had to put her ass on the back burner, on the back uh, things on the stove, because she would put her hands on them, bro. She had Jessica looking like, what's homeboy from our movie there? What's homeboy from our movie The Goonies? What's his name? Santana scheduled to fight Melissa Hernandez on the 27th. Okay, that sounds good. Melissa Hernandez is a crone now. She sat out for a very long time. Who knows why? Okay, but Melissa Hernandez was a great fighter. Okay, she had the pizzazz, she had the performance, she was fearless, and she stepped to a lot of these. She exposed a lot of these so-called champions. One of them, Jelena Mrjenovic out of Edmonton, she exposed Jelena several times. So I think that's a good matchup. Santana versus Hernandez on the 27th. I'm looking forward to that. Um, I hope that we can uh, see the footage for that action. Michael Orr comes in. You mean our man Sloth? Hey, you guys. Yes. Yeah. Melly Mel, right? Melly Mel, Minnie Tyson, Melissa has, Melissa St. Ville had Jessica Camara looking like our man Sloth off of Goonies in they fight. Yeah, man. Um, and I quite enjoyed that. Camara is still in the game. I think she has a fight coming up soon. Um, I think they stepped her up too fast, but at the same time, I know Camara as a fighter, and Camara and I were in the same kitchen at one time, and I could tell you this: I'm not gonna bad. I will never. I'm not going to um, down talk a fighter. She works hard, and she worked hard when we were in the same kitchen. But as a fighter, you have to respect the game, and you have to respect time in the game, right? So you can't come in and thinking that you the new hot piece of ass on the block and think off the strength of that you get to be a champion. Mm-mm. You got to pay your dues in the game. And I think she's learning that the hard way, which I told her she would, because she was very disrespectful. Very, very. You'll hear about the disrespect between me and her, the story between me and Camara in the Sugar memoirs that will be coming soon, right? But yeah, don't be disrespectful in this game. This game is filled with karmatic energy, and this game is full of some bad bitches that you really shouldn't mess with. But I digress. So Michael Orr says going to fight on the 17th. Kamara is going to fight on the 17th. Who? Who is Kamara going to fight on the 17th? Michael. Let me know. Let me know. let let me know. Um TBA. So they finna buy somebody. They looking to buy somebody and bring in. So it's not going to be a contender. It's going to be somebody to keep Camara busy, and it's going to be probably a journeywoman that's going to keep her bones from getting too soft and get her a win on her record, because I think her last fight was with Callie Reyes, and although she put up a spirited match against Callie Reyes, Callie blazed her ass up um, in some points of the fight to show her and to show the judges that, listen, this bitch ain't gonna take nothing from me. um, and plus, it doesn't hurt to be married to the manager of both of you. Okay, so Callie Reyes is married to Brian Cohen, who is the manager of her, who is Callie Reyes' manager, and Jessica Camara's manager, and he manages many other women in this game. I'm gonna say this, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna put this out there because we gotta have some sense. If your manager has the if your manager is managing another broad in or around your same weight division, you got to fire him. You got to get out of that situation, because he cannot be a dual agent to you guys, right? He can't work for both of y'all's best interests because y'all are competitors. It doesn't make sense. Y'all got to use y'all brains out here. Michael Orr comes back with a correction. Camara, Camara is fighting Da Silva on August 13th. Da Silva. I don't know. What's Da Silva's first name and what's her record? Michael Orr comes in. She's double booked because it also says Kim Wabick. Can you please give me the numbers on Da Silva and Kim Wabick? You got to be sure that you're going to get out of one fight unscathed to pre-book another fight. So that's really, you know what I'm saying? She's doing it the wrong way. Girl, when you going to get it right? When you going to get it right? You need to call me. I don't like you, but I do respect you enough to give you some decent advice. Now, Michael Orr says, and two different places. So one is in Houston and the other is in Melrose. Da Silva is 17 wins, 21 losses, a journeywoman. So they test in Camara with Da Silva. She's fighting a journeywoman, okay? 17 wins and 21 losses. So instead of throwing her in, because what they did was they did not put Camara in with a journeywoman at the caliber of Melissa St. Ville, and that's why Melissa St. Ville turned her into Sloth, right? So looks like her management has gone back to the drawing board, and they're trying to move her differently so she doesn't take as much damage, and they're working hard on Camara. I'm thinking one day she may be world champion, okay? Because that's one thing she do. She do what she got to do to get what she want. She do what she got to do to get what she wants, and I guess you got to respect that. And then she fights Wabick, which is 4 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. I don't like it, girl. I don't like it. But legends and greats in women's boxing, there have been legends and greats with worst resumes and worst looking journeys. So girl, get your life. Um, let's see what you can do. Michael Orr says then she's fighting September 17th against TBA. So Camara is booked twice in the same month. You can't do that. You can't do that. They got that wrong. You can't fight 2 times in the same month. No more. Michael Orr says, maybe the one she doesn't fight on August 13th is the one she's going to fight September 17th. She's booked twice for August 13th for two different opponents. Can't do that. If she signed two contracts at the same time, she's supposed to be suspended. You can't do that. You can't do that. Um, and you can't do that because the commissions, um, it's for the safety of the fighter, they say, right? Because when you sustain that kind of damage, you need to at least have 3 weeks to heal before you take on another situation where you can sustain further damage. Because a fight is a fight is a fight. Whether you win the fight or lose the fight, you're sustaining damage. You're getting hit. Yeah, you're exhausting yourself, your body, your brain. Yeah, so that has to be respected. Um, and so, is there any more pictures, lovely assistant, or is that it? That's it. I think that's it. I think that's it. Okay, so, um, yeah, so you could take Dahania Santana's picture off, and let's talk, you guys. So I appreciate some of my you know um my people showing up tonight. Michael, you always in the building. I love that. Um who else came in? Uh where you at? Talking Fight. My crew Talking Fight came in, helped out with the numbers. Who else? Who else was out here? Come on, where you at? Where you at? And Boxing Learner chimed in. Okay, so we had ourselves a little party, and um, looks like I'm gonna call it a night. But before I do, right, I want to say this. Tonight's talk was about the journey women of women's boxing, just like there are journeymen. Okay, and so the journey women, I want to say this once again, are just as important as the champions, because it is those women that make the climate of competition. Okay? These women get up every day and they still run, they still spar, they still prepare. This is not mismatch. A mismatched person is somebody who has not been prepared, is not conditioned, is unwittingly signed up to fight someone who has experience or has way more experience. That's a mismatch. Okay, and most mismatched people have good records. Okay, we going to put it right back to Sinisa Estrada versus that 7 second knockout. That was a mismatch. Okay, that is a blemish on Sinisia's record, not the girl who got laid out, who got slumped. Okay, we not it's not anything funny to laugh about, because that isn't, I mean, that is something, you can, how can I describe it? That is, I mean, I can't articulate it right now. But when you sign somebody up for something that they don't know about, or they have no expectations for, is a level of cruelty that deserves punishment, or some kind of accountability. So that journey women are. Um, Michael Orr comes in and says Lenny Daniels heavyweight champ. No, no, no. I'm sorry. Y'all, I'm behind in my comments, but I know somebody came in and chimed in and said something. Let's see who came in. Let's see who chimed in and say what they said, what they said. Okay. Oh, Michael Orr says it's disgusting. Michael Orr says, I was just about to mention that fight. It's disgusting. It should be called manslaughter. I agree, Mike. I agree. Right? So you don't do that. Pick a fight with somebody who wants to fight. And Journey Women wants to fight just as much. Michael said it. I was going to say it. That's how people die in the ring. Okay? But not so much die in the ring, like this is how people actually die in the ring. Okay? Um and Michael Orr says that's been happening way too much lately. It shouldn't happen at all, right, Michael? That's what these commissions are there for. They have to be more stringent in their in in how they pass fighters, right? But this is how fighters die in the ring. What happens is, I tell you, the matchmaker is the deadliest person on a boxer's team, right? So on the team, there's your promoter, there's your manager, right? But the promoter hires your matchmaker, okay? That matchmaker is a stalker. That matchmaker looks at everybody in and around your weight division and watches them. They watch their fights. They watch how they've won or how they've lost. They look at their records. They look at the quality of matches and opponents they've had, and they pick just the right person for their fighter to slaughter. So a matchmaker should pick opposition that is evenly matched so the promoter's fighter can mature into proper champion material and championship contention. But they're not doing that now. They're being underhanded and slimy, right? And it should be called manslaughter because they're picking people who are not, they're jumping over real contenders' heads to find tomato cans and to find people who are mismatched, unwittingly signing up for things that they will get hurt for. So this is how people die in the ring. People die in the ring from not being conditioned properly for the type of fight and opposition that they're going to face. Okay? You can't just bring your ass to a fight and you haven't been running, you haven't been sparring, you haven't been training with um, with the type of conditioning that will help you be strong to face the opposition that you're going to face. Okay? So as you train, your body gets stronger. You have more endurance. You become wiser, right? You're sharper. Okay? People who are not conditioned to fight these championship fights and go these championship rounds, their brain gets knocked around. Their hearts can't deal with the cardio and the work that they have to do to survive in the ring. So either your brain gets knocked around and you go into comatose, or your heart can't take the work and you go into cardiac arrest. That's how people die in the ring. Okay, your organs, you're getting hit with body shots, kidney failure, right? Your liver, you getting shots there. Like these are organs that rupture in your body. You have to respect this game. This game is legal assault. You have to respect. This ain't people going in patty caking. Nah, we ain't slap boxing. No, we're going in to destroy the body of the person in front of us or attempt to do that. It's not just a fight. I remember I was recruiting, I was interviewing a strength and conditioning coach, and he had all these muscles and he was swinging from, monkey bars, and he was doing all this stuff, right? And I was like, okay, it looks like he can prepare somebody to get in great shape. He's swinging from bar to bar. He got the muscles and all that. Okay. And I'm interviewing him, and I said to him, I said, I'm not training for a fitness competition. I'm training for war. I am a pugilist. I go in to destroy. Otherwise, I will be destroyed. I have to be conditioned to destroy the person in front of me, break their bodies down, break their brain down, break their will, right? And he goes, okay, yeah, I yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the way I looked at him, I started looking at him, right? Because now I'm a fighter and I'm interviewing the people on my team because they got just like too bad is too bad. They got to be too bad. They got to be badder than too bad, right? Because those are the people that's going to help me extend myself. Um, okay. I'm not sure. Say it again. Say it again. My host saying it wants me to give a shout out, but you got to tell me who I'm giving this shout out to. Okay. Um, so, uh, I'm looking at him and I saw I saw that there's a thing that punks do when you press them, and he did that. And I said, in my mind, I said, you ain't it, in my mind. Um, okay, so I'm giving a shout out to all my father's business. I'm not sure what that. Come on, host, give me the business name so I can give the shout outs. Okay. Um, please give me the name so I can shout out. All my fitness. I'm not sure who I should be shouting out, but you guys, when I start, put your name, drop your names in, and when I read my comments, I'll come back. Um, Uh, okay, my guys at Talking Fight say he commented on your last show. I didn't see the comment. He used to spar with me. What? Who's that? I got to I, y'all know. Listen, I didn't see that part, you guys. I'm sorry. And he commented on my last show, and he used to spar with me. Okay, I'm not sure who we talking about. Um, His tag is my father's business. Okay, so listen, my father's business. You came and you came on the show, and I'm gonna give you a shout out because you used to give me rounds back in the day. I'm not sure who I was talking to. Drop me the name, but listen, if you used to give me rounds, you a bad mofo. And I know you ain't a she. I know you a he because only the guys used to be able to give sugar that work. So I love you, all my business out there. Um, he said he broke your nose and you broke his, and it was the first time sparring a woman. Oh, he a damn liar. You a goddamn liar. He lying. Ain't nobody broke Sugar's nose. That's a story. I'm gonna take back the shout out. All my father's business, you ain't spar with me and you ain't break nothing on me. So we gonna take that out. We gonna take that out the story tonight. Y'all gonna have to edit that part out because you gonna have to remind you ain't Sugar ain't never had nothing broken by nobody. Um he only sparred once. Um, you sparred once and you broke Sugar. If that ain't an entire ass lie, he sparred me once and broke my nose. If that ain't an entire ass lie, don't come on my show lying, y'all. Don't do that, right? I've had some great matches, and I've had my ass beat by some in some spar matches, right? Some dudes have given me the work, but it for damn sure ain't got to where or did not ever get to where Sugar's nose was broken. And you yeah, it you you break my nose in sparring and I come back, we gonna have to, Sugar gonna spin back on that ass, and Sugar gonna break something of yours too, right? I might Mike Tyson it and come out that mofo with your ear. But I digress. The journey women of women's boxing is what's gonna make us the money. Okay? Everyone can't be champion. And that's what's happening now because all the punks, except for a few, right? There's some women who are not punks out there, but I, I would say the majority of y'all are, are some punks up here. And I want y'all to see, I want you to extend yourselves and fight some good journey women, some good contenders out here. Okay? So you can up your value and up the value of the game because that's what's going to give you longevity, ladies. If there is no women's boxing for you for when you get old, when you become a crone and you're out the game, if there's no women's boxing for you to comment on, no women for you to train, no women fighters for you to promote because you didn't give nobody a chance, you're not going to make any money doing something that you devoted your life and you bled to do. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. Michael Orr says, sounds a little like you need to jump back in the ring. Listen, Michael, I'll tell you this. Sugar's bones are good and soft now. You see me, I'm a glamour girl now, okay? But there are times that I do toy with the idea of a comeback or the thought of a comeback. But women's boxing is just not interesting enough yet for a crone like me to risk my faculties to get back in there. I decided that I was going to transcend into what you see now, right? A spokesperson for an advocate, a spokesperson, a philanthropist who defends my industry, okay? And vulnerable women globally who want and need to make a living doing something that may not be conventional. We do have the power, and we do have the mind and the will to apply ourselves to any of these things, not just boxing, anything that we want to do. And I'm an advocate of the struggle of women in the world doing that. And with that said, I am going to call conclusion to this wonderful night and this wonderful chat of women's boxing's journey women. Like, subscribe, share this sugar. Why not? Okay? Um, talk that talk to me, but don't come on my show with no lies talking about you broke something. When I catch up with you, because these streets is real, I might have to break something. Don't use this show. Don't use this show as no threat or no pre or what they call it premeditated. This ain't premeditated. Okay. So like I said, always trying to make it on that Friday show with the boys. But if I don't see y'all then, like he said, he boxed with you on the Atlanta boxing team in 1999. But the Atlanta boxing team in 1999 never had Sugar nose broken, and that was when I was Miss Too Bad, and no nose got broke. I still don't understand where this mofo got the story from. You gonna have to tell me your name, bruh. He said all of this stuff. Ask him what his name is. Tell it to I got to know. We gonna have to come back to this. He said you never boxed any women, only men. Okay, he's telling the story, the right story, but he ain't never broke my nose. we're gonna have to and I want to tell him, ask him if he'll be a guest on the show. I would love for him to be a guest on the show. I'm not going to come at him wrong or anything like that, but I want him to give his perspective and share his story of being a man in the game that was sparring a woman when weren't women boxing at the time, right? So I give him all due respect and credit, even though he might be lying a little bit, or about the nose breaking, but you had to be a bigger man than many to get in the ring and spar a woman, a young woman like how I was, right? Because a lot of men, um, they felt like they needed to defend their manhood for all men just because they were sparring with a young lady like myself, which it had nothing to do with anything. It was two fighters in the ring learning. Um, Michael comes in and he says he writes a nice story and just go read the comment. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm on a platform where I can't see the comments, but we're going to fix that, okay? Because I want to dialogue with y'all. He says it'll give me Michael says it'll give me a laugh. Oh, okay. I love a laugh, right? But I'm gonna say this, okay? Um what's my guy's name? All my father's business. I love you. Thank you for remembering Miss Too Bad. Thank you for the memories, and thank you for getting in there with me and being a part of my journey. I so love you for that. And I hope that we can reunite one day on the show, and you tell me, you remind me of, because if you was on the team in 1999, that's when the block was hot. And I would love to hear some of your stories. Until then, like, subscribe, share this sugar, okay? And if I don't see y'all on Friday, we'll be back on next Wednesday. Same time, same place, okay? Um, Probably different shirt though. But y'all chime in. Come on in, okay? Anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye.